I want you to close your eyes for a moment and think of someone you love who's no longer with us. Remember their smile, their laughter, and their voice, the way they made you feel, the jokes that they made, the comfort they brought, the empty chair at the dinner table, the phone number you can't delete, and that photo that maybe you have that brings both joy and pain. Now open your eyes and let's talk about this promise that touches every single heart that has ever beaten. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, كُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ وَيَبْقَى وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ ذُو الْجَلَالِ وَالْإِكْرَامِ. Every being on earth is bound to perish, and only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remains forever. Every being on earth will perish. كُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ. Now this ayah is not just about the ending. It's about returning. It's about coming home. Let me tell you about this young brother named Khalid. He's 19 years old and his father falls ill, and every night he sits at the hospital bed next to his father, holding his hand, pretending to be strong. And one day, as he's in and out of consciousness and losing his health, his father opens his eyes and he says, Khalid, remember what I taught you about Allah? He says, yes. He said, then don't grieve for too long for me. I'm just going home first, and you'll follow when it's your time. And eventually he passed away. May Allah have mercy on him. Eventually, we all return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are a lot of different journeys. The journey of youth full of dreams, feeling sometimes immortal and ambitious, racing against time, and yet every second is counting down, and they may not have that long. Like one of our beloved friends who died on the soccer field. He had good health. Another who died while seeking knowledge in Medina, and a car hit him on the side of the road as he was helping an older person. There's also the journey of maturity. For many people, when they reach it, by Allah's grace, they watch their parents age, and they see now their friends leaving, and they start to understand mortality more. Adulthood hits them harder, and they're learning now to say goodbye, but it's temporary. There's the journey of wisdom, accepting the promise, preparing for meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and making every moment count, living for what lasts. Imagine you walking through the graveyard with a great scholar like Al-Hasan al-Basri rahimahullah, and he stops, and with tears in his eyes, he says, may Allah have mercy on the one who works for the likes of this day. For today, you can do what these brothers of yours cannot. Use your health, your time, before the day of accountability comes to you. Think about it. Every grave you ever passed, every janazah you heard about, it was once someone's entire world, and they had dreams just like you, made plans just like you. Some had to-do lists, and some had things they were looking forward to doing. And they thought they had time, just like us. But there's a gift that no one wants. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in a way, frames it as a favor for us. Death, at the end of the day, is the end of the reign of tyrants and oppressors. It relieves the suffering of the oppressed. It makes all equal. It brings ultimate justice. It leads believers to paradise, and that's the door to Jannah. You have to depart to paradise through the gate of death. And the death is you leaving behind this world. But there are also stages of letting go for those left behind. The empty chair, it hurts. The silence, it's very loud and it echoes. But remember, that loved one, they're not gone. They've just gone ahead. They're not gone permanently. They're back with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, waiting for you. And for those growing old, every gray hair is a light. Every weakness in the body is a reminder. Every forgotten memory is a lesson. You're getting closer to home as well. Getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who will resurrect you with perfection in paradise that never ends. And for the young, your time is not guaranteed, and your deeds are your real age. Your impact is your legacy today and not tomorrow. So make it beautiful. There's a promise of meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He tells us, وَاللَّهُ خَلَقَكُمْ ثُمَّ يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ. Allah created you and then causes you to die. It's a temporary departure. So notice the beautiful sequence. He created you out of love, causes you to die to return to that love. So it's not an end, but rather it's a reunion with Him. If you could write a letter to someone in paradise or someone that you've lost, what would you say? I understand now why you said what you said at the end. I understand now what changed at the end of your life. And I'm trying to do the things that you told me are pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you're making dua for this person. So make peace with the promise of Allah with daily remembrance. Visiting the graves often, making dua for those who died, the believing men and women, living and dead. Always make dua for the believers. And remember your own return and live for what lasts. Legacy building is about planting every single day. the seeds and the trees that will shade others, building wells that will quench thirst, teaching knowledge that will guide, and leave love that will last. Prepare yourself with hope, increase in your good deeds, forgive quickly, and love for the sake of Allah, but do not become overly attached or distracted in this world. And look for those final moments. Imagine your last breath. What would you wish you had done? Who would you wish you would have forgiven? What legacy would you wish you had left behind? And of course, at the end of the day, we want our departure to be pleasing to Allah, so we have to live upon it every single day. Remember, every goodbye in this world is followed by a welcoming greeting, as-salam, in the next. Every separation here leads to reunion there, especially for the believers in the best of homes. We're all just walking each other home. Question for you: what comforts you the most about reframing death as a return to Allah and a permanent reunion with your loved ones? Leave a comment below to inspire others, and may Allah accept from you and have mercy on our dead.